Yeah, these are pretty bad, aren't they? Alright, hello everyone, how's it going? This is Chris here, of course, and Mikey All-Star here, and today we have a little bit of a different video. Oh yeah! So I wanted to do one last minifigure video for the year, and I was like, oh, I could just showcase a minifigure, and then I started rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender with my good friend Energetic Dre, so that's been a lot of fun. We've just watched the first 2 episodes so far, but yeah, I can't wait to watch more. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. The Lego Avatar customs I made so many years ago. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't looked at those in a while. They probably look terrible. And guess what? They do look terrible. And so I wanted to just go over all these minifigures real quickly, sort of a retrospective look at them, and yeah, and maybe a little announcement at the end of this video too. So don't skip ahead. I see you. You're really close. Your cursor's right over the bar. No, just wait, just wait. Gotta go over all these bad minifigures first, then we can get to the good stuff. So which one of these first of all is the worst? I'd say probably most of them, but perhaps there's like some things that I might still like about it. I will say there's one actually that I think still holds up pretty well, but the rest. Oh, you can see right now, we'll get these. First up, Aang, the last Airbender. Maybe there's a good reason why he's the last, if this is what his minifigure looks like. No, but yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is the first one that I started off. I had this grand plan of like making literally every single character from Avatar in Lego. I wasn't just talking about the main characters, I was talking about like all the side characters and stuff. Got Haru, we got whoever else, we got the, you know, Doc and stuff, Doc and Shu from, you know, the water, the Painted Lady episode, you know. I was gonna go crazy. I didn't go crazy. Instead, I just made a few bad customs. So here we go. Maybe one day I'll make a few more than just you know, just a few bad customs. I'll make a few mediocre customs for us. But here's Aang. These things are as stiff as a board too. By the way, the paint, it's very stiff. I don't actually know what paint this is. It's kind of glossy and stuff. This orange. I think the colors honestly aren't too far off. We can see his collar right there, which is like slightly different color yellow than this. Just a little lighter yellow. I think the original plan was for me to use just a yellow torso, but I didn't have any, so I just painted that. Yeah, I think yeah, everything on this minifigure is actually painted besides like the, you know, those flesh tone colors. But yeah, you can see his shoes right there. Honestly, this isn't too bad. Like, it definitely has its problems, especially the back. Look at that, I tried to add like little wrinkles and stuff to that. Not the best. You can see the red. This was originally red legs apparently, so there you go. And white, the white middle piece, I think you can kind of see right there. Kind of see that little piece right there. So yeah, this the paint job is kind of, you know, kind of flaky a little bit, and it's very thick and yeah, not very smooth. And yeah, I think like the black, it kind of works, but I feel like I should have done like a darker orange or something. Like usually on Lego minifigures you don't see like super like dark lines and stuff. You see like lighter or darker versions of like the color that the main torso is. Like, see, if you look at this right here, this Superman minifigure for example. Blonde Superman, of course, everybody's favorite version of Superman. You can see these lines aren't black, but they're actually dark blue, so I think that works really well. That it doesn't just like stand out way too much, that it like fits perfectly, I think, with the minifigure design. So there, of course, there are some black lines too, like with the belt, it has a black line, but I think that makes sense. It kind of has a comic booky feel to it. So, and then like, you know, the cheekbones as well. The cheekbones are sort of in this darker, sort of pretty much the same color as the hair. This sort of like dark blonde sort of color there. So yeah, so that's probably what I should have done, but I did not do that. Also the face, I'm not sure if you've seen Aang before, but I don't think it doesn't quite capture what he looks like. Kind of looks like Finn from Adventure Time, but also like 1,000 times like just terrible worse. I did the arrow. I think the arrow is kind of cool, but I don't think it's quite as defined enough. Like you can see it looks like he kind of has a triangle on his head. It needs to see like more of like the arrow, like the line part, I think, on his head. So also like the paint looks really weird too. You see that? It's like there's different layers there, kind of like that. It's kind of weird. His eyes, I think his eyes might have been like gray originally, because you can kind of see the little gray right there, but then I painted it brown. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because yeah, his eyes are interesting. His eyes are like gray but also brown, like sometimes. Like from a distance they look brown, but like from close up they're kind of gray, so I didn't know what to do, so I guess I painted them both colors. You can kind of see, like, look at that, that's kind of weird, like the little lines right there. I'm not sure if that's from the torso or if that's just like some weird like paintbrush thing. But yeah, this is, he also has the arrows on his hands, which also look pretty terrible. That one's not actually too bad, but this one is pretty bad. So Aang, pretty rough, but honestly, not a bad start, but yeah, it's still pretty rough. Let's move on to some more, even more rough minifigures. I gotta say, just using like normal Lego pieces, Katara is kind of hard to capture because there's not really like a specific like hairpiece I think that really represents her the best. I feel like perhaps there's better options now, but back in the day there wasn't really like a lot of options. I feel like maybe like something kind of like Rey's hair from episode 7 could possibly be manipulated to sort of work with her, but I'm not sure. There's not, I don't know, I'd have to look a lot more in detail to see. There's probably something out there that would work, but this hairpiece does not quite work. It kind of looks more like the hair that she had in the live-action movie, so that's already already pretty negative thing for this minifigure to look like that. But anyways, okay, so pretty simple, pretty basic. It has some detail, but the detail is honestly pretty bad. Honestly, look at this. Look at this. This is like just pretty much just blue right here. Like there's like some like details here and stuff like that, but it's like, yeah, it's it's just very harsh blue. There's not really like a lot of like texture to it besides like the paint's texture itself. There's like the white lines right there, which are pretty sloppy. The skin tone at the top, which is also incredibly sloppy. The boots are very rough too. Why did I think this was good? Look at that. That's pretty rough. Different colors on the sides for her pants because she has like this little like tunic thing that goes over. It's kind of like a skirt in a sense. The lines back here actually aren't too bad. Honestly, that's not too bad, but it's pretty messy. You look at the arms as well, you can see the three colors right there, and also look at that, you've got this one and this one. Like, look how much bigger that one is. That's pretty rough. Nothing on the back at all, really. Just like a little like some mild detail there, but it's yeah. This one definitely I think is worse than Aang. I think it's the color itself is not bad. I feel like this is a pretty accurate color to like Katara's outfit from the first season, the first book, but it just looks very rough, I gotta say. And also look at that. Lazy Christopher Z. Alright. Kind of curious, did I like... Anakin, how you doing? I did not paint the... I mean, that's fair. I mean, like, Aang, like, yeah, I clearly need to, like, have a blank. You can't just have, like, Anakin's face right there, you know? But Katara, I think it's more acceptable. Like, you're not gonna see that. Like, you literally can't see Anakin. Oh, you can see a little bit of Anakin right there, but that's fine. Honestly, the face isn't too bad. I don't think it's quite accurate to Katara, but I like the hair loopies. I think those are kind of cool, actually. Even though they apparently don't connect. Look at that, that's really weird. What was I doing? Yeah, the face isn't really like that reminiscent of like Katara, that representative of Katara, but I mean it's not terrible, I guess. So this one there's not a lot to talk about. This one's kind of boring and just bad. I could probably like modify this hairpiece. I think this hairpiece could possibly work, but it just needs some work. Like the bangs are a little too much. Like Katara doesn't really have bangs like that, so yeah. But this one's just kind of boring. It's not particularly super offensive, but it's just kind of the way it is, really. Sokka, I will say this one actually it's not the best, but honestly it's not too bad. Like this is probably one of the better ones. There's only like 2 in here I'd actually consider decent, and this is one of them. Decent is probably a strong word. It's definitely clearly isn't perfect, but I think it's not the worst that it could have been. Once again, like with Katara, the torso is kind of boring, but honestly I think this one works a little better. Like this one, I don't know what it is about it, I guess just like the lack of detail is just very boring, but this one just has like a little extra detail of like the little boomerang bag that you can see back there. That's a little more interest. I think the color works. I think that's pretty nice. The legs are pretty terrible. Look at that. It's kind of chippy and globby and yeah, not overall very pleasant. Also, this brown is kind of weird too. Look at that. It's kind of ugly. Clearly some flaws there. You can see like the base of the legs, and also this is very chipped, so that's not good. The arms are alright. I think the black is a little too much. It could have gone with gray. Similar problem with Aang. But the blue is okay. Definitely some problems there. It's not even at all on either side. This side's actually a little better, but this side is definitely bad. The torso is kind of alright. I guess this is fine. It's a little sloppy too. The skin tone is also pretty sloppy. There's like a bit of blue there for some reason. Oh, I guess there's just like a fleck of paint. He's got his little like bone necklace or whatever that is right there, or shell necklace, I guess. that you can kind of see. It's kind of cool, I guess. The back, yeah, I feel like there should have been more detail of like the white and stuff on the back, but there's not. So there he has like his little bag, his little holster thingy for his boomerang, which is pretty bad, but I mean it's not as bad as it could be, I guess. And the boomerang as well. I think the boomerang is kind of cool. I used a bullhorn and I cut off like this little, it goes like whoop, like a little curve thing at the end. So I cut that off. Could have probably sanded this down a little better to make it shaped. I think that would be pretty good if we just like have this little extra bump, but that honestly is not too bad. It is pretty thick for his boomerang. His boomerang isn't that thick, it's pretty skinny, but I think it's probably honestly the best that I could have done at the time at least. The hair isn't too bad, I think. This is the mohawk, I cut it down. It's a little weird, especially the side profiles, like it's a little weird. I think the side is kind of weird, but this side isn't as weird, I'm not sure. They're both pretty weird though. But I think honestly it's not too bad. I think I could just use like a little more shaping, especially on the back. Could have been better if I just did like that maybe, and just like made this look a little less janky and a little more smooth. I think it could have worked. The head itself is it's not too bad, I guess. It looks, I feel like the eyes could have been lowered and stuff, and things could have been a lot better. But honestly, I don't think it's too bad. This is why this minifigure overall I think is pretty rough, but it's not. I think with some refining, this could definitely be a lot better. So it's not too bad. Definitely not as bad as Aang, and not as boring as Katara. But yeah, this one I think holds up just a little bit. It's not too bad. But speaking of bad, my camera doesn't even want to focus on this one. That's how bad it is. This one right here, Zuko. This one, yeah. If the paint job was better on the overall body and structure minus the head, I honestly think this wouldn't be too bad. I think it's pretty rough. The paint job is rough, but I feel like I got like the overall feel of like Zuko down pretty well with like the armor and stuff. Like the little skirt is pretty rough, but it's not too bad. It's also very scuffed too. There's like that there. The belt is alright, I guess. The shoes are definitely could have used a lot of work, but the overall feel of Zuko I think is present. The torso itself, could have used some more detail. I think like something right here would have been nice, a little more like just a little detail right there or something. I'm not sure. And the armor, like you can see like the plates right there, the chest plate. It's definitely, you know, a little uneven, but honestly, like from afar, it doesn't look too bad. From a close up, it looks kind of bad. The arms are also pretty terrible. Like look at this; it's very, very patchy and very, yeah, not too good. The back also is very, very rough as well. So, it looks very rough, and it is. It's like, you know, very, not rustic, but like just very, very rough around the edges. But like with some tuning up and stuff and better, like cleaner lines and whatnot, it could have looked better. So I think it's honestly not too bad of a start. I do like this part. This is like from Ninjago or something. I'm not sure what these guys were, but little armor piece I think really adds something to the figure. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, the elephant in the room, the head and the hair. This hair is terrible. There's actually a way better hairpiece for this for Zuko, which is the Aura Singh or whatever from Clone Wars. That hairpiece, that would definitely work well. Some modification, of course. It's a little too long, but other than that, it can work pretty well. So I think that if I were to ever make this minifigure again, that's probably what I would do. But yeah, I don't. This hair isn't like. I could see what I was thinking. Like, you know, I had an idea, but it's just a little too much. Like, there's definitely like way too much hair at the top. It should have been like this maybe. Like if I could have like just gotten it down to like the bare minimum where it can still work, like, you know, like get off like all this stuff and like just like have this circle, I think that could have worked. Also, I did something else apparently beforehand. I tried to paint it. I was like, nah, we gotta fix that, man. And I didn't fix it. It made it worse probably. But the face this side, it's really boring. Doesn't really like strike me as Zuko, honestly, but it's not terrible, I guess. This side, I tried. Okay, it's pretty bad. That is pretty terrible. But yeah, this one definitely does not hold up. Like with some modification, it could be a lot better, but it's pretty rough around the edges. So there's Zuko. It doesn't get any better from here. I'm just warning you. This one's pretty terrible. We've got some even worse ones coming up. We've got some fun with clay, which is going to be pretty hilarious. Can't wait for you to see that. But this is like the last like pre-clay one, I guess. Oh, actually, no, there's like a few more that don't have clay. But don't worry, this isn't the worst of it yet. Don't worry. There's more. Overall, the torso and body, eh. It, it looks like Toph, like that's pretty accurate to what she wore, but it's just, yeah, it's just too messy and just doesn't, like, it looks like Toph, but it just, I don't know, it just doesn't look good, really. I'm not sure really how else to describe it. It just doesn't really look that good. I think especially like the lines and stuff that really like sets it up. I don't actually mind this line. I think that could be a lot better and with different colors and stuff, but that actually isn't too terrible. There's also that, which I was like, oh, it's done. It's good enough. Like, nah, just look at that. What is that? Freaking beef gravy stain or something? What is that? Toph have some beef gravy before this. We've got this belt, which is really rough. You can see like the little jaggedness of it. We've got the dots, which actually aren't too bad. They're not very uniform, so like this one, especially these two are smaller than these ones. But that's not terrible, I guess. Like it's, especially for like early custom me. The back is incredibly boring. Also, the legs are just really like splattered on it. Look at that. That's so messy. Ew. Look at that. What is that? Why is it go like that? What is this? That's pretty bad. It could have been more detail on the feet as well, like to see like little toes or something. Sounds kind of weird, but I think it could be kind of interesting. Yeah, the arms are pretty boring, but I feel like there could be some like more detail on here that could be pretty interesting, but there's not. The face, this was pretty fun to make. I watered down some blue or something to make like the blind color. The face doesn't really strike me as Toph, to be honest, either, but it's kind of a cool concept. I think I was onto something there, but it wasn't really well executed. But I think this could be, yeah, like most of these faces honestly don't really strike me as the characters. Like I think Sokka is the only exception. But even then, that's still kind of rough. Yeah, this doesn't really feel like Toph, honestly. I think it's like the eyes. I think the eye shaping, what I was doing back in the day, wasn't quite accurate. So, the hair isn't too bad. I don't mind this. This part, but the rest of it is okay. I think this is fairly accurate to Toph. Probably a little bigger, I'd say, than like what Toph is wearing. What Toph, what her haircut's like. Also, you can see Anakin right there. You can see the chin. I'm pretty sure most of these were just Anakin. Like, there's like one coming up. Actually, I'll probably make that one. No, we should probably do this one next. Or no, I'll do this one next before the clay stuff, because the rest are clay stuff. I think with clay this could have been interesting, but it's just kind of, not very well done. But yeah, so that's Toph. Kind of mediocre. Not super bad, but still pretty rough nevertheless. So you could probably say that about most of these. Like they're terrible, but they're not like too terrible. You know what I'm saying? I know. Don't worry, it still gets worse from here, I promise you. The next one after this, you're gonna wish they looked like this. This is this is pretty bad. Who do you think this is? Can you tell? This of course is Jet. Obviously, look at that. That is definitely Jet. Anyone could tell that. The only distinguishing part that actually tells you that this is Jet is like pretty much just the swords. That's like he's the only character that has these swords. So the swords are pretty freaking awesome. I got these from Brickforge. I'm not sure if they still have them. I'm not even sure if Brickforge is still around. It probably is. So those are freaking cool, right? That looks pretty great, I will admit. But that's because these weren't really made by me. I just painted them. But other than that, that's not me. So the torso, this is the whole thing, honestly. The entire thing is just pretty terrible. Look at all of this. This is the coloring. I think the colors are okay. I think the colors are pretty fitting for Jet, but literally everything else is just so messy, just so junky and terrible. And look at that, Anakin once again. Look at the back. Look at, what was I doing? What is this? There's no detail. There's like that. Look at that. It's like, oh, let's put a line here, and there you go. Look at the legs. That's disgusting. That's terrible. He has like little armor pieces right there, which of course look terrible. He's got different armor on his arms, which is pretty terrible. The arms themselves. Look at that. Look at that. What is that? Oh, the hands honestly aren't too bad. Like that's pretty bad, but this side. That's not bad actually. I don't mind that. That's kind of clean, but yeah. And then the head. He had hair before, but he does not have hair anymore. So I'm not sure where his hair went, but it's gone, man. He went bald. He saw Aang. He's like, I want to be bald too, and he shaved it all off. The face. Does that look like Jet? Not even remotely close. This could be anyone. This could be my cousin or something. I don't know who this is right here. That's not Jet though. He's got the sly smile that's like, you know, it goes like, you just see the little bump right there. The eyebrows are also uneven too. He's got like one longer eyebrow and one that's kind of faded. Yeah, it gets worse from here though. Are you ready for this? You're not ready for this. No. I mean, I think the minifigure really speaks for itself. Look at this. Remember that I actually thought this was actually pretty good at one time. That time is long ago. Now most of these minifigures are from Season 1, of course. Toph comes in Book 2, but this one is also based off of Iroh's Book 2 appearance. I'm not sure why I didn't do Book 1. I guess I was like, I can't figure out how to do the hair for him in Book 1, or maybe I just couldn't figure out the armor. I don't know. I guess I was lazy or something. Who knows? First of all, look at the paint job. Look how, like, ooh, look how ridgy and stuff it is. What is that? Also, you can see, like, the original base right there. You see that? The blue? The legs, like, super uneven. The paint is just disgusting. Look at that. That's, ew. Every single part of him is just so very badly painted. Look at that. Look at this arm, man. Look at that. Look how, like, bumpy and stuff that is. That's not natural. That's not how it's supposed to be. The yellow is okay, I guess, and the lines right there, the little, like, buttons or whatever, I guess. Look at this clay job right here. In fairness, that was, like, one of the first things I ever did with clay. But, that is pretty terrible. This actually isn't too bad. Like, I feel like it could have used a little more right here, but it's not terrible, I guess. I of course used like this like balding, like whatever head for the base of it. I added some wrinkles there, which are just so egregiously bad, as well as the face is just so terrible. I mean, it does. I will say it does kind of look like Iroh, but it's a terrible looking Iroh. But at least it looks more like Iroh than most of the other figures do. Like this doesn't look like Iroh. No, I mean like this doesn't really look like Toph, to be honest. Like it has the spirit of Toph, like the face. That's not Toph. That's not Katara. That's not really Katara's face. I guess it's not terrible, but it's definitely not quite really Katara. This isn't really Aang's face, but this I feel like is terrible. But I think it at least captures the face just a little better. Also, look how like squiggly this is. What was going on here? Was it just like, oh, let me, oh, my hand is shaking. Let me just really quickly do the smile real quick. This is the perfect time to do it while there's an earthquake. The entire table shaking. I'm doing okay, but yeah, it's this is pretty rough. It doesn't get much better from here. There's actually one that I think is okay, but actually there's two that are. This one isn't terrible, I guess. This one's kind of okay. But let's get on with some more bad stuff. Yeah, that's Azula. Can you tell? This looks exactly like Azula. When she went freaking crazy. Look at this. What is this? There's not a lot to say. This is just like, I made her like super skinny too. Look at that. That's unhealthy, man. You gotta see a doctor about that. What's going on there? But like I can't just like. There's like literally like no redeeming qualities about this minifigure. The coloring, I guess, is alright, but I just actually like can't process just how bad this minifigure is. This is probably like the worst. Like Iroh was bad, but this is actually offensive. Look at that. What is this face? That's not Azula. That's Crazula. I don't know what that is. Also, she had like little like hair thingies that I made out of clay, but those clearly broke off. They're like, this clay didn't want to be a part of this, man. The clay was like, I can't damage my reputation by being part of like the worst minifigure ever made. Also, look at that. Anakin again, you see that right there? That's Anakin. That's probably the best, actually, let's just uncover this. This is probably the best part of this minifigure. Hang on a second, we gotta fix this minifigure right now. Now that's much better, I think. That's definitely better. Now here's actually one of the last Avatar minifigures that I made. I also made Tai Wei too, but I actually do not know what happened to that minifigure. I may have destroyed it. I may have sent it down to hell to burn for its sins. I have another box here, but let's see. Nope, Tai Wei's not in that box. But also, this box also does have one of my worst customs. Also, look at this. Avatar indeed. The blue people are back. This is something that if somebody comes into my house and sees this minifigure, they're probably gonna run out screaming, "Look at this! This is..." But anyways, I'm not gonna do a whole retrospective on like all of the Korra figures I made. Some of them actually aren't terrible, but there's a lot of those. So I don't want to spend like an hour talking about some of the worst things you could possibly imagine. So here we go. But yeah, I think honestly this one isn't too bad. It's May. You can tell it's May. I think the face honestly isn't too bad. I think it kind of captures her essence there. I think the hair is pretty good. The clay is honestly not bad. Not bad at all. The back is questionable, but it's not terrible. You got the little hair bun things or whatever. Her torso and body is okay. The legs are pretty rough, I will say. They could use a better painting on that. Kind of plain and boring. The body is okay. I think it's not terrible. You've got the white there and stuff. You've got the red and the darker red. The back is pretty egregious though. That's pretty rough. That's rough, buddy. But you could use more work. But honestly, it's not the worst. Also, you can see like a little remnant of Anakin there. That's really weird. What in the world? I removed the printing from that, but I didn't remove all of the printing apparently. That's really weird. It doesn't actually like. It kind of fits though, oddly. But also, there's like, yeah, there's some more messy parts there. I did her sideburns too, so this isn't bad. This is probably one of the best. I think actually, the best is yet to come. The best one I think if how I'd rank these is I'd rank the best one, which is the last one I'll be doing. Then this one, May, not terrible. Definitely tell it's May, and then Sokka, which is still pretty rough, but honestly, it's not as bad as the rest. The worst, probably this one, but the head definitely is better. But anyways. Last one. I'm actually still a little proud of this one. Now the face, it could use some work. I think it's kind of there, but it needs a little more. I think the eyes are a little off. The eyes are a little too big and stuff. I think the mutton chops could definitely use some more work too. Could use better shaping and stuff. But overall, I think the eye color is pretty cool. I think that's pretty accurate. But now the torso, it's a little rough, definitely. You know, not my best work, but I think it's kind of cool what I was able to pull off. Like you got like this little like pattern here and stuff. It's a little chunky. It's a little big and stuff like that. Like this, the collar and stuff, and this part up here and whatnot. It's a little chunky, but honestly, it's probably one of the best things that I made at the time. But that's not saying much, to be honest. Like, you saw what else I made, so it's not saying a lot. It's a little gloppy, a little chunky here and there. The lines are pretty rough too. This stuff is okay. The boots are a little off, but not too bad. The lines here actually aren't too terrible. The belt is a little much, a little chunky as well. It works, but it's a little just a little too much. This isn't too bad here as well. That's a little rough. That could use some work. The little dots there. The arm definitely is probably the weakest part. I do like the hands. The hands aren't terrible. Once again, a little chunky, a little gloppy, but not too bad. The hair. I'm not sure why he has the green band. I don't think that's accurate. I think he should have like a red band or something. So I'm not sure what that is. It's kind of weird. But the hair isn't too bad. I think this is pretty fitting. This is probably about what I could do now, honestly. But yeah, I just realized the camera's moving down. Yeah, this is probably the best one though, which isn't really saying much once again, but it's still rough, but it's not as bad as it could have been. So, unlike the rest. Alright, thank you all for watching. It was fun looking back at these minifigures. As terrible as they are, I feel like there's still some redeeming qualities. Some things that old Christopher Z got, not right, but, not too terribly, I guess. So that's something. I can at least be proud of myself for not completely screwing these minifigures up, to the point that they actually cause blindness, like, you know, it's off over here. But, so the announcement, I'm sure some of you are probably hoping that the announcement will be, I'm never making another custom again looking at these, but, the announcement is that I'm going to remake these minifigures. I think they're pretty bad. I'm not going to remake all of them. I'm not touching some of these things. These things, they could stay, they could stay the way they are, in horrible agony. But, I think I'll probably, like, the main 5, I think, will probably be doing that. I could try Iroh again. I'm not sure how well that could work, but I'll be honest, I haven't really been super driven to make customs recently. Like, you haven't seen like a single custom video from me this year, I don't think. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm pretty sure I didn't have one last year either. I might have had one last year, actually, I'm not sure. I did some Star Trek stuff, but those were older customs as well, so those don't really count. I think that may have happened last year. I'm not sure. Anyways, but yeah. So sorry for the lack of custom videos if you enjoyed those in the past. They're pretty terrible anyways in the past anyways. So maybe the past is best left in the past. I think the Assassin's Creed ones are okay. There's some rough ones there. I'm looking at them right now, but I would like to make some more Assassin's Creed ones. I still have some characters to make. I think I'll probably come back to it. I'm not sure. I'm pretty certain that I'll come back to it. But yeah, I want to make some more Avatar minifigures one day. I'm not sure when, just whenever I feel the drive. But do know that I am thinking about it. I'm definitely actively thinking about it, thinking about how I can make these better, and hopefully they won't look terrible and they can actually represent the characters better. I'm just going to take my time. I think back in the day when I was doing these things, I was just rushing them. I just wanted to get more customs out and make more, so I had so many that I wanted to make. But now, I'm going to take it a lot easier, take it slow, work on them, and see how things turn out. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was fun looking back at these minifigures once again. As terrible as they are, I do have a lot of nostalgia for making these. So, anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!